And welcome to Studio 5. The Lion King is back in a new film. Recording artist Michael Boggs has a new twist on a Christmas classic. Coach Anthony Lynn is talking faith on and off the field, and we're counting down this week's top 5 uplifting entertainment stories. Here are the first 2. At number 5.
Of course, I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad.
A miracle and a milestone birthday for an entertainment legend.
These guys I owe my life to and my house to. So God bless you guys.
Legendary film and TV actor Dick Van Dyke giving credit to neighbors and other good Samaritans for helping him escape a raging wildfire in Malibu, California. Van Dyke telling ABC Los Angeles station KABC-TV that he got tired wrestling with a fire hose before people arrived and saved him before the Franklin fire closed in on his home last week. Van Dyke recently turned 99.
At number 4.
Tonight, we have a very special guest, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson!
A high court judge trades the bench for Broadway, at least for a night.
Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson traded her judge's robes for a Broadway costume Saturday night. She fulfilled a childhood dream with a one-time only performance in the hit musical comedy And Juliet.
Guilty roads to an endless love.
I feel very much in my element.
You do?
I do.
I love that.
I like it too. Yay. I think what I like about it is that I am having a very strongly negative reaction to it. Like I hate it. Which makes me think it must be brilliant.
I had these 2 different loves, the law and theater. And so being the first Black woman Supreme Court Justice to appear on a Broadway stage, that has been a dream of mine for all of these years.
Female empowerment. Sick.
The remaining 3 stories in the uplifting entertainment countdown are coming up. Right now, the Lion King saga continues with Mufasa, who goes on a journey to find his destiny.
This story begins far beyond the mountains and the shadows. On the other side of the light. Long before they became legends, Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
We do not associate with outsiders. Taka is the future king. We must protect the bloodline.
The Lion King is already a genre of music, rooted in African rhythms. And then obviously Lebo M's voice is synonymous with Lion King. That's the first voice you hear in the 1994 original. It's the first voice you hear in this film.
I read the script and I just saw so many different things that I'd done in my previous work. The relationship between the brothers, the family dynamics.
Find your place in the circle of life.
I was like, oh, I have to do this. What about you, my friend? What was your approach to writing the songs for Mufasa?
It's very rare when you read a script and go, a song goes here, a song goes here, a song goes here.
When I am king.
Most of the inspirations for the lyrics are there in that script.
I have a secret, Mufasa. I always wanted a brother. I always wanted a brother.
I always wanted a brother. That was the line that made me lean in.
I always wanted a brother. I always wanted a brother just like you.
We were thinking there might be a song there, and it was called, like, Brother Trouble.
Yes, it was called Brother Trouble.
And you were like, no, it's I always wanted a brother.
Yes.
This song is about him wanting a brother. I was like, oh, damn, that's great. What was the most difficult song to write?
Milele was a really tough song.
Really? I'm surprised to hear that.
Beyond the horizon.
Milele swells and soars. Sort of like soaring is difficult. That's the thing that Disney does so well, so it was daunting.
That's my favorite song in the film, by the way.
I'm so glad.
Which is crazy.
The legacy of Lion King is so intimidating. It's also like Elton John, Lebo M, Beyonce. That's a good hang. Like, I want to be in that hang.
Exactly.
How can we help? Yes, I love it when we say things at the same time.
I'd rather do it on my own.
I need you two to try and act like adults, okay? Don't scare Kiara. And most of all, no stories.
Hello, I'm Taka. What's your name? Mufasa.
Mufasa! We're alive! I did it! I saved us! You were saying?
Why don't we all go around and say a fun fact about ourselves? I once had a crush on a flamingo. I've never said that out loud.
There's no place to run. We have your scent.
My scent. I've been stalking you two all night.
When your father Simba was your age, he was afraid of the thunder.
Rain! Oh, finally, we have rain! Race it to the light!
You're too fast. There will be one Lion King.
Find your place in the circle of life.
I thought this was a comedy.
I think you could include an enthusiastic, rambunctious warthog a little bit more.
And a charismatic meerkat you can't help but fall in love with.
If I told my younger self that I was in a movie, I'd never believe myself. And
well, you are, girl. You are. Seeing Blue as Kiara and hearing her voice come out of that character. Oh. Give me a second, because I'm still I can't believe that's my baby.
It's just a really amazing experience, and I feel like everybody that's a part of this is so helpful and supportive. I feel like this is just a great experience for me, and I'm really happy for girls that look like me all around the world are able to watch this movie and hear and see themselves in it.
I'm so proud of you, and I can't believe how big and grown up you are. And I'm proud that she's gonna represent so many young brown girls around the world.
The earth will shake.
I have a secret, Mufasa. I always wanted a brother. I always wanted a brother.
Find your place in the circle of life.
The circle is broken. There will be one Lion King.
Mufasa the Lion King is in theaters everywhere December 20th. Still to come, a new spin on a Christmas classic.
Come, all you unworthy.
Recording artist Michael Boggs shares the story behind it.
I really wanted to remind people that everybody gets invited into a relationship with Jesus.
At number 3.
Animals do the most remarkable things at every stage of their lives.
An inside look at Apple TV's new 10-part series featuring incredible footage of rare and remarkable animal behaviors of 77 unique species in 24 countries, filmed over 3 years and streaming now.
From leaving home to finding food, we go undercover in their world and reveal the secret lives of animals.
At number 2, we're sharing the very first images from Prime Video's highly anticipated series, House of David, the biblical story of David's rise from shepherd boy to the renowned and celebrated King of Israel. It begins streaming February 27th with 3 episodes and then 1 episode every week in more than 240 countries. It's written and directed by filmmakers John Irwin and John Gunn. The number 1 uplifting entertainment story is coming up in just a few moments. Welcome back to Studio 5. Recording artist Michael Boggs has new music, and it's just in time for Christmas.
Come, you unfaithful. Come, all you unworthy. Oh, come, you with nothing to offer him.
We're all familiar with "Oh Come All Ye Faithful," and think about it this time of year. What inspired your take on this?
Yeah, you know, I really wanted to remind people you could never run too fast or too far to get outside of God's grace and mercy.
For you, rejoice, he came for you.
And so, you know, I needed to be reminded of that. There were some folks in my church that needed to be reminded of that too. So it seems like it's resonated with some folks, and just so glad for it.
It seems to resonate with a lot of people. Why do you think that is?
You know, I think sometimes people either have a tendency to think that they've found the limits of God's grace somehow. I think too, there's a lot of people, especially at Christmas time, that you know, Christmas is not easy for them. You know, I found in my own life too, my dad passed away about 10 years ago, and still to this day, people are a little afraid to sit in the chair that he always sat in. You know, it's as if we obviously still want him there. And I think that just a little bit of that snapshot in the second verse talks about, come all of you who are anxious and weary and carry burdens. There's a lot of people that resonates with. They feel like all they have to bring to the Lord this time of year is a burden or some kind of grief. And I understand that. And this is not saying that there's not hope. The song's not saying there's not hope. It's just validating that Christmas is sometimes hard for people. And we can still rejoice, though, in the fact that Jesus came for all of us, even in the moments that are difficult.
I love that. All are welcome, no matter your state condition. He welcomes us all. Why is this song so relevant today?
That's a great question. You know, I think at least I can speak for myself and what I felt when I wrote it. I think it brought a sense of peace that no matter where we find ourselves in life, you know, Jesus still says that I want a relationship with you, and you can rejoice in the fact that we can come to God. And I think to some degree, you know, we need to be reminded of God's grace and his mercy, and that, you know, like you said earlier, we can come to him no matter what it is. Yeah. And that's something we can rejoice in.
Yeah. I know you, being a singer-songwriter, have written many songs. How personal was this one for you?
It was personal. You know, one, I wrote this for my church and my Christmas Eve service that I was planning.
Rejoice, he came for you. Rejoice, he came for you.
I also remember as a kid hearing one of my favorite Christmas carols, which is "O Come All Ye Faithful," and thinking to myself, man, if only the faithful get to come, I guess that leaves me out. You know, I was a kid who tried, but often failed, and the grace of Jesus picked me back up and told me to try again. And so, you know, there is an element of this song that is very personal, that is very autobiographical. And, you know, I think in a lot of ways, I think for a lot of songwriters, you're writing about your own experiences and your own struggles. And sometimes you're even writing a song for yourself. And I think this is one of those times where it was very personal. I'm every person in each of the three verses of the song. At any moment, I can be any of those three people and need to be reminded of this. So if nothing else, I thought, well, this will be a good reminder for me, even if it's a song that stays on the voice memos app on my iPhone, and you know, no one else ever hears it. But I think there was a few people that needed to be reminded of this too.
Christ the Lord.
Michael Boggs' "O Come, O Ye Unfaithful" is available wherever you stream your music. As we head to break, we want to share this week's story and pictures. Here's your Studio 5 snapshot for the week. We share this look at Nickel Boys, a new film based on Colson Whitehead's novel, which won the 2020 Pulitzer Prize for fiction. It brilliantly dramatizes a strand of American history
through the story of two boys unjustly sentenced to a horrible reform school in Jim Crow-era Florida. The civil rights movement is the backdrop for this tale inside Nickel Academy. And despite the brutality, one character holds on to humanity, awakening a new vision in another. The film is out now, and it's this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. Moments away, Coach Anthony Lynn's playbook as the running game coordinator for the Washington Commanders.
I believe you're at your best and you're the most powerful when you're in the present. Focus on that.
At number 1.
Actor Jamie Foxx is asking for prayers as the actor has now spent more than 2 weeks in an Atlanta hospital.
Fans are abuzz following Jamie Foxx's return to the comedy stage in a Netflix special.
As long as I could find a church that feels like church.
Foxx credits faith and family for his miraculous recovery from a life-threatening brain bleed and stroke.
Just 400 yards away from here in Piedmont Hospital, they put me back together again. That's why this moment is the most incredible moment, because you do take it for granted.
And that wraps up this week's countdown. Welcome back to Studio 5. The Washington Commanders have one of the best rushing offenses in the league. The architect behind the team's ground attack is Coach Anthony Lynn. He's known for putting players in a position to succeed, and he leans on his faith to make it happen.
This fan base is special. I grew up in Dallas, and the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins, that's a rival. Back then it was big. We haven't had that here in a while. And so I've always respected the fan base here, and I've always respected the organization here. And I wanted to come and help a great man in Dan Quinn build something special here for the people. When you have a mobile quarterback like Jaden, and he loves to run, and I'm trying to get him not to run as much because he's so competitive, it makes the defense play 11 on 11. So you can gain some advantages in the run game because of that quarterback's mobility. Even if you're not using him, just the threat that he can do it. He's way ahead of his time. His maturity, his character. As good as he is a football player, I can tell you that right now, he's a better man. If you're running away from something or if you're running towards something, then you're never in the present. And I believe you're at your best and you're the most powerful when you're in the present. Focus on that. You know, don't worry about the play you just had. Don't worry about the play that I'm going to call. Worry about the play that's in front of us right now. And that's easier said than done. I was raised in a single-parent home, and a lot of coaches became like father figures to me. In middle school, high school, college, even on the pro level. I've always wanted to be a coach and be able to give back and pay it forward. One day I will miss that, you know, and those meetings I have with young men. Besides the X's and O's, I love doing that, and I feel like I've been called to do that. Players don't care what you know until they know that you care. And I believe that at the end of the day, it's a relationship business. If you treat people that way, I think they respond that way.
He really just cares about the people around and the people in the organization. And he's been doing it for a very long time at the highest level as a player and as a coach. He's just really open and authentic on and off the field of just giving us fatherly advice. And I love him as a coach and as a man and as a mentor.
You can be and do whatever you want to do. You know, chase those dreams in life. That's living. We're called to love because Christ loved us and he died for us so we may have eternal life. And he didn't have to do that, but he loved us so much that he did. For us to share that love with others, that's authentic and honest, and people see that and they trust you. How can you not be attracted to that? How can you not want to be a part of that family? Big groups, small groups of just fellowship with one another and meditating on Christ's word. You took that seriously and you did that, Christ will show himself to you. He's never let me down. He's always shown himself to me. I believe he'll show himself to you. And no matter what I do, there's consequences, but I know that he loves me. And I know that one day I will spend eternity with him. And that's always on my mind, no matter what I'm doing. Just knowing no matter how much I screw this up, he's going to be there with me.
Coach Lynn was a running back in the NFL and won Super Bowls 32 and 33 with the Denver Broncos. And you are back in Studio 5. As you know, music helps us to bring you this show each and every week. And this week's soundtrack comes from Jennifer Hudson and Charles Jones. Take a listen and you'll hear why Oh Holy Night is what's playing in my ear this week. What a voice. Jennifer Hudson has a new Christmas project that's out right now. It is called The Gift of Love. Trust me, you want to take a listen. On that musical note, we are just about out of time for this week's edition of Studio 5. So let's look ahead to next week's rundown.
It's the time of year for the Christmas cheer. It's the time of year, gather around the Christmas tree.
International recording artist Anthony Faulkner visits Studio 5 to share Christmas music.
Silent night.
We're also getting an inside look at his life's journey. You've been doing this now for how long?
Ooh, over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
What's the journey been like?
Journey's been incredible. You know, been able to touch down on 6 continents thus far. I think the last time we met, it might have been 3. But
so we've doubled.
we tackled a little bit more. But man, it's been an exciting yet stressful journey because there's so many pitfalls that independent artists fall into.
Be sure and join us next week for that story and so much more. As for this week, we've got time for just one more thing. Let's give that to recording artist Michael Boggs. He's got this week's final word.
If you could go back in time and speak to that young Michael this holiday season, the little kid, still big dreams growing up, what would you tell that little boy?
Oh, man, so much. And that's probably an emotional answer, you know, but I would tell him, you have it better than you think you do. Hug your dad a few extra times. You're teasing your sister, but it's because you love her so much. And your mom's one of the best people on the planet. So every time that she asks for a hug and an extra one at Christmas time, go ahead and do that, because she's more valuable to you than you probably know at this point.
Hey, Michael, thank you. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and for this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.